All right, people. Sorry, I had got my ribs. I thought we were going to be on time today. And a little tasty little sip of water here. Nice. Look at that. That's some clear water. Tasty stuff. So you're going to take our post down. I think we've got the doors sold, so we can take it down. Sold. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be freaking calling my HOA. I didn't think you guys were that dumb. Don't do that. Get me in more trouble. And now they're going to have a meeting about the meeting. So no garage doors. The reason why I posted that letter was to show why I'm selling the doors. Marketing's kind of my thing. Selling stuff is kind of my thing. And so, I don't want to sell doors and be like, hey, I don't want people thinking like I didn't want them, and do want them. But now I got to get them out of there. So, give people the context. Why am I selling the doors? Well, it kind of backfired on me. People started emailing them and calling them. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not nice. It's just not a grown-up thing to do.
All right, so before we get off the...
They won't answer the phone anyway, but maybe they just know it's my number. So anyway, that's
the ribs were good?
Story. Yeah. Ribs. I'm a DoorDash champ, man. The only problem with DoorDash costs me $30 every time I freaking order.
When you order an entire rack of ribs.
Oh, well, I didn't even think about that, but...
Yeah, but the fees add up.
You could order a gosh darn, and I have Dash Pass, which seems like they mark it up and then mark it down. It's one of those scams. Oh shoot! But yeah,
here I brought your present by the way today.
What you got? You know what about Turkey Hill?
You told us the other day when we were doing.
So where did you get that?
I know a guy who knows a guy. Mm-hmm. So I secured some. This has been in the freezer for 30 minutes too, so it's nice.
When was I talking about that?
When we did the pressure washer, and you're talking about people walking to racetrack to get.
Oh
and
gosh!
Started talking about Wawa and Turkey Hill. We had no idea what you were talking about. Like, what is Turkey Hill? So I found the Turkey Hill sweet tea for you.
Okay, so yeah. I don't want it. I don't buy that crap at Turkey Hill. That's what you guys do. I was the one who's telling. So to add a little context to the podcast, has that video even gone live yet?
Yes.
What about the other video? What about the one with the AR and the atoms and all that crap? Did we mess that up or something?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the one that went live yesterday. Yeah, AR has not gone live yet.
Oh, what did they say about the atoms? Shoot, I didn't even look at the comments. I've been doing good not looking. But to add a little context, we were making a video, and I was likening or making the correlation or connection between people that buy all of their meals at a convenience store, I didn't say 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven would be like the one that everyone would know. So I said racetrack, and then I realized, well, racetrack, most people don't know what that is, unless you're from the southeast, I think. And so then I said, well, Turkey Hill or Sheetz or Wawa. Shouldn't be buying, you shouldn't go and buy a Gatorade every day at Wawa. You should go buy a 12-pack of Gatorade at the grocery store. Even better, go buy a 48-pack at the
Sam's,
the obese store. Yeah, the obese makers. Grab yourself a industrial-sized package of cheese balls and some Dunkaroos and maybe some mouthwash. And so I was talking about Turkey Hill, and all the guys there taking all the specs of the pressure wash were looking at me like I was cross-eyed or something or crazy.
You had no idea what Turkey Hill was.
Yeah, get that out of here. I don't want to drink that. I'm on a diet.
It goes great. Tell that to your lunch.
It was ribs. Ribs are healthy.
Okay,
aren't they? It's just meat
in smaller portions. They're pretty good.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but it's not a lot of meat, because you're mostly bone.
All right, let's see. We got some super chat questions. Let me get to here. From our buddy Martin at Alligator Window Tent. I want to say thank you to Jeff and Wappa for helping out today. Everyone going above and beyond. So good work, Jeff.
We're chasing hard right now. This is our shot. So we're going to be spending a lot of time coming up here talking about how to lock your spot down in line. I'm going to be talking about it in podcasts, talking about it on all the YouTube videos, talking about it everywhere. That supply is going to be a major issue, and you getting anything you want from now until for the foreseeable future, a year or maybe even several years, is going to be difficult. So I think what we're going to do is figure out how to make it so that we can lock people's spots down in line, and that way we can use those sales to go to the vendors and get priority because we've already sold the product, and then we can get things out to people as quickly as possible. So that's the plan.
Let's see. I want to get to this next super chat from Colin Campbell, $19.99 US. He says, "Hey Matt, any plans on doing a start-to-finish tutorial with products for when you buy a new vehicle from a dealer?"
Yeah, I mean, maybe not that specific, but yes. We talked about this probably be next year, where we're going to make a a detailing, start to finish, and product focused, telling you what products to buy, because that's what people really want to know. And then also having that be a quick little encyclopedia for when you do get the stuff. You go back and watch that the night before or the morning of, and you go and follow the process step by step. Mainly for those who don't really have a process or haven't really done this before, it'd be a good reference point. It will also help the guys in the tech support to help get that information in more concisely. It's all there. It's all on the YouTube channel, but we have 2,000 videos now. There's a lot of content there. So I think we are gonna make something like that, and we're gonna produce it really well.
Well then, and Keat here in the chat reminded him, or gave him a heads up, that the GT4 video series, you recorded the process from delivery and then detailing it there at the dealership there as well. So that might be worth checking out.
Was that your Ecobee that was a problem, or my Ecobee?
It was yours.
Uh-oh. Which one?
I don't know. That's what you get.
I don't see an email.
Normie Ecobee.
Where'd it go? That means an air conditioner's not working somewhere. That's not good.
Another super chat here. This is just a comment, not a question. From Improved Garage, $5 US. My HOA sucks too. Our covenants don't allow washing cars. Parentheses. Luckily, most don't listen. In parentheses. Keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah, it's frustrating. The HOAs, are some of the most powerful entities in America. They supersede, local law and federal law in some instances. It's stupid. I mean, and the thing that's frustrating is you would think they would want people, nice people, to come and improve their properties, and I get it. They don't want people wildcatting and doing some crazy crap. But if you want to do that, then which one is that?
Let's see. Yarn Garage.
Oh Lord.
That's your home. My home has been calling for cool, but the room temperature has increased by 3.1 degrees.
Ugh. The air conditioner's not working over there, so we got a mini split coming to put in the one side. I did 3 air conditioners. We're gonna do 3 mini splits to make the air conditioners work. They really messed that up.
Oh, here's a good.
So what was I talking about? Oh, it's just frustrating. It's like we're such nice people, especially Michelle, not so much me.
Yeah.
But we're it's like, hey, come on over. Let's let's look at what I want to do. It should be like I'm paying for them anyway, because we're paying these ridiculous dues. And so, they should, bend over backwards for you and try to, make sure that you're not doing anything stupid. Hey, I'd be happy to make some suggestions. No. It's like the Gestapo. It's like they don't want to come. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to confront you. Everything's it's an adversarial relationship. It's not like, hey, we're in this together. So now what I want to know is who's on the board. The bylaws say that the board should be reelected every once a year. So how many years have these people been on the board? I've never gotten a notice that it's for election. Well, how does this work? How do I get on the board? Which I don't want to be. But, why wouldn't if there's a group of 5 people, why wouldn't they come over and say, hey, look, here's what we're trying to accomplish here. No. It's just they want to say, hey, we're daddy. We tell you what to do. It's just so stupid, because now no one wants to live there. And here's the frustrating thing. So we're building this business. As we mature, all the people here will make more money, and then they'll be looking for nicer homes and a place to live. And if I live there, and we're recruiting these people from all over the country, if it was this amazing community, which it very easily could be, I'm a pretty darn good recruiting source. So you'd think you'd want to kind of help me out, and I've got some great ideas, and I'm not trying to do anything stupid, not making anything look crazy. I'm just trying to make it nice, and painting the house the same color. It's so stupid. It's one guy. It's one guy who thinks he's God, and I'm sure I'm going to get a call from him. I'm just not answering. I'm done. I'm 100% done. So I've got to dig the ditch to fix the freaking crappy grading that they did, and that's the other thing. They'll never own up to any of the the problems, the development of the community. I paid for my own septic system, trying to stay in good graces, and that got me in trouble right there. It was not like asking for warranty claims and then hiring an attorney and going after them. I just paid for it, and I feel super fortunate I was able to do that. And then I get a call getting yelled at for doing the darn septic system. But that was okay after a while. And they said, no, well, you don't need to get approval to do a septic system after they were on to the next thing I was doing, which was to do solar. And then I wanted to do garage doors. So the only 4 things I wanted to do: fix the drainage. I guess a few things. Paint the house. Just touch up the stucco. Mm-hmm. I wanted to add the Tesla solar. I needed to fix the septic system. And did I say garage doors? Garage doors, and then I want to do like an outdoor kitchen. Those are the only things. Nothing crazy. I mean, then fix all of it. We fixed the weeds, we fixed the landscaping, we fixed the grass. Because when we moved into the house, there were weeds everywhere, and now the driveway only floods halfway up, so we've gotten it sort of working. But these are all things that should have been fixed in the house to begin with, which that they avoided and just screwed the other people. And so one couple moved out. I bet you $50 the other people moved out because they knew that the septic system was faulty. They pumped the system and just tried to get the heck out of there. And because it was only a 3-year-old home, I didn't get an inspection. And so I'm trying to fix all this stuff. And so I'm freaking out of there. If I could move somewhere right this minute, I would. But there's nowhere to go, so we're just going to build our house. But the nice thing is I'm done, and they'll hopefully leave us alone. I'm sure we'll get in trouble for leaving a football out on the grass or something like that. There's nothing they can do about that. How about this? Come pick up the football. Take it. I'll get a new one. Freaking losers.
Yeah, so I need to share this with everyone in the chat. So Primo55, when he saw that you were eating lunch here, before the show, he said Matt received a letter from his HOA stating that he is not allowed to eat lunch at his own house anymore. That was good, Primo.
The frustrating thing is, like, why do I need to ask for permission to improve everybody's property value? It was a $400,000 house. It's probably a $375,000 house when I bought it. Now it's a $700,000 house. Why would you not want that to your next door? When I list that house is going to create all kinds of comps for the other houses around it. And even though the houses around it are going to be nothing like it, it's going to raise everybody's property value. And that's the frustrating thing is like 95% of the members of the community want it to be the same way I want it to be. And so it's the 5%. It's the developer who created this fake DRB review board, and he's in charge. And it's not even his property. It's the Yale Endowment's property, and has the contract for it. And so they sold me a bill of goods. Like they're super nice and real awesome. And I'm like, why did nobody like these people? And when we first moved in, I was loving it. I'm like, this is fantastic. I said, I kind of want to just build a house right down the street, or just build a nice house, a house that's bigger and nicer down the street, and then I'll keep this one and we'll rent it. And they freaking ruined that. It's so stupid. And I know that they've done that for dozens and dozens, and if not hundreds of other people, and ruined this community for everybody, for themselves. Like it would be a booming, thriving, vibrant community. Nope, it's a freaking disaster. And everybody in there is just in there because they got nowhere else to go. It's so stupid. The whole thing is just frustrating. And so now I'm building my house and get the heck out of there. It's escalating everything.
All right, let's shift to some good news here. From One Sick CRX in the chat. Hey guys, I have the active VE52. Had the surging issue. Went from my 20-foot garden hose as a supply line down to a 3-foot dedicated feed line, and the surging has stopped completely. Keep up the great work.
Interesting.
So if you're having that issue, I know that's come up a few times. Give that a shot. See if that works. Give us some feedback.
Yeah, this is part of the deal. We of course get the people who didn't buy them, who jump on with their pitchforks saying, "You guys suck. You owe us blah blah blah." You didn't even buy it, so shut your mouth. This is part of the deal. Figuring out how it works. It's like, I bought a WRX and I'm going to do a tune to it and we're going to modify it. It's like you've got to be willing to accept the responsibility that we're in this together. I'm trying to give you what you want, and it takes some time and energy and effort on all parts. Because we made $38 on the frickin' pressure washer. I'm supposed to like give you my firstborn. It's stupid.
All right, let's see. We got some of our usual suspects in the chat here, including our friend Brian Deal from California, who had a question for you that a couple other people actually referred to, so I wanted to bring this to your attention. Because he watched the video with the Adams and the AR and the Sunjo and the Krenzla.
Yep.
He said, in viewing the video, it looked like the 7.0 nozzle wasn't big enough. Want to know, can you get an 8.0? Is that the correct nozzles? And then so I brought up the sheet. So you used a 7.0, I think, just because we couldn't find one bigger.
Right.
And it was 1,200 PSI at 3.33 GPM. So if you went to, I don't know if they have a 7.5 or if it goes straight to 8. How does?
Well, I did the same thing on my K165 STS, and I ran it a little bit higher pressure. When you get up in the bigger machines like that, you gotta find the balance, right? It has so much horsepower, so much output, that if you open it up too much, you're not going to get much more flow. And I found also that with that much pressure or with that much flow and output, that the spray pattern is pretty dedicated. There's no like hot spots in the 40-degree spray pattern. So you get a good even dispersion. So I found that it's okay to stay that. But yeah, we're going to try a 7.5, 8, and we'll see if it juices GPM at all. But I'm comfortable with 1,200 PSI. That's fine. The target, see, on most of the little ones, you're going to dial back. The pressure is much less important than flow. So when you have 3.33 gallons per minute output, I don't really need any more flow. It certainly doesn't hurt, but I don't need like the difference between 3.3 and 3.45 is not that much, and so I don't need to give up pressure. And as long as the pattern feels somewhat safe, now I need to be a little bit more aware that I've got an extra couple hundred PSI with a lot of water behind that. But I found that's the sort of the sweet spot for the big pressure washers. On the little ones, I want to give up pressure for flow, where it can make a pretty remarkable difference to go from 1.8 to 2 or something like that. On the little crappy ones, like the Sunjo, you go from 1.1 to 1.4 in some instances. That's a significant difference, 25% difference in output to go from, say, 1,200 PSI to or in those cases, something like 1,600 PSI down to 1,000. So then it makes a lot of sense to do that.
Gotcha. So there you go, Brian. Because Brian's going to order actually a KWS 700, so we'll make sure you get the right one once we do that testing. Let's see here. We had another super chat. This one from Yoshi, $20 US. He heard you're dropping a new album called, and then a 4-letter word that starts with F, the HOA. After Matt and Ice Cube working that.
I mean, everyone's like, I could have told you. To add context, again, I've known the family that's in charge of them. They're freaking wonderful people. I thought they were, they're great. Now the sons, I think, are probably not allowed to talk to me, but Adam and I played softball together, and we were designing a home originally when I bought that my first house in YouTube, the brown house instead, and again, they're so nice. And when Sean sold me the house, the other son sold me this house, and talked about what I would want to do, and everybody's on board, and yeah, that's a good idea, not bad. And so they sold me a bill of goods. And they bait and switched it. As soon as I got there, then I'm not allowed to do anything they want or anything that I want, and I got to do what they want. And that's nonsense. It's my freaking house. I own it. I pay taxes on it. It's my property. But the HOA supersedes your rights. That's the way it works. Because technically, you've signed by purchasing the property, whether you signed a document or not. You're signing a contract that you're going to adhere to the bylaws of that community, and so it supersedes your rights as a human, basically, which is just asinine. And like the HOA, like we have the same thing at here at Woodgate, where I'm going to move to, but it's like 20 people, and you get together and you have a reasonable conversation. Hey, I'd like to add a garage out back. Okay. Well, we got to make it look nice. Let's not build a feed barn out back where it looks like crap. It's got to look the part. But it would be so easy to do. And if I cared, I would get in there and help facilitate that. But I don't care, so I'm getting out of there.
We have our friend Latency748 in the chat. He said, first time tuning in live. He's on a cross-country trip from Ohio to Colorado for a wedding, so naturally took his 997. Stopped in at Porsche of Colorado Springs. They have a ton of inventory if you're looking. Oh, there you go. Thanks for tuning in, Latency. All right, let's see here. We have Rob's Mobile Detailing says, hey, Matt, is it possible to run Prevost piping as a whip line from the pressure washer to the hose reel for a setup where the hose reel and pressure washer aren't stacked like they are in your setup?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
I sensed that halfway through, but
I was checking the comments on the
on Adams.
I've got one Poro in there who he's a new Poro who comments on everything about, and he's clearly insecure as heck about how if anybody wants to buy anything more expensive than he could pay for, then he wants to disparage it all and tell everybody they suck. But he just doesn't know what it's like to live with some money in the bank, and if you have some, you have a different value set. And if you've never experienced that, you don't know what it's about. Anyway, sorry, read that question again.
All right, so from Rob's Mobile Detailing, Matt, is it possible to run Prevost piping as a whip line from the pressure washer to the hose reel for a setup where the hose reel and pressure washer aren't stacked like in your setup?
I'm sure you could. Yeah, I mean, I only ran a flex line because I think it looks weird having a fixed pipe, coming into the inlet of the pressure washer, like the Krenza, because it's on the side, but the outlet. I tend to like flexible lines on pressure washers. The inlet doesn't matter as much. The outlet, would much rather have, and it's highly recommended to stay with a flexible line. One, it's easier to replace. And two, you have the pressure kicking on and off. If you do a hard plumbed line over time, that vibration, can tend to be problematic. Like if you did copper or something like that, I prefer to use the braided hoses for that. But the inlet you could. Again, I think it works better if you do some sort of flexible line.
Let's see. Frank L. in the chat wants to know, should you do PPF for new car headlights?
We talked a lot about that in the past, but you're rolling the dice there. So if you don't do PPF, your headlights are going to get peppered and beat up and over time, and then there's nothing you can do about that. If you put PPF on it, the PPF is going to protect from that to a large extent, from rock chips and things like that. But then you're going to want to remove that PPF in a couple of years to put a new piece on. And that PPF's adhesive may remove the UV top coat of the headlight. So you may end up making the headlights worse than having a few rock chips on them. So I think it largely depends on what your conditions are like. Do you expect to get tons of rock chips, like if you're driving on a highway in the Northeast or something like that all the time? If you're expecting that, and I think you're better off. The risk reward trade off is greater to PPF it and then just roll the dice. I think I generally do PPF on them if I'm doing PPF on the front clip, and then you just roll the dice on it. I'm not 100% sold on PPF on the headlights or PPF on anything because I'm inclined to just buy new headlights. If I had the car 5 years from now, I'd probably want new headlights anyway. But I understand most people don't think like me, so whatever. That's my take.
All right, we have a question here from, where'd it go? There it is. Viper Chair's in the chat. They say, what's up, OG? And yes, what's that thing called? The Sidekick is on sale now. We need to get those. Someone was asking if we had them yet. We do not, but we're going to get them. All right. Let's see. Adam Gonzalez, Gonzo Detailing, wants to know, are you going to SEMA this year? And then Nico in the chat was also asking about SEMA, if he'll see you again there this year.
No. I don't want to wear a frickin' diaper on my face for frickin' 5 straight days walking around, and I don't want to... I should have some pretty strong antibodies, I would think, but I didn't want to schedule it because I didn't want to catch it there and be stuck there and miserable for 10 days afterwards or something like that, stuck in a hotel by myself, sick as crap. So I'm not going. Plus, a lot of vendors have pulled out. I'm probably gonna miss out, but I'm just not going. I'll go next year. It was all right last year. Plus, so I scheduled a trip. We're going up to North Atlanta to build the crazy garage, and we have a whole team going up to shoot that. You're gonna love that series. So, I booked something else. So yeah, I won't be there.
All right, our friend David J. War Eagle in Alabama. He needs to know Maddie's take on Little Debbie's new Christmas tree cake ice cream.
Yeah, Mike was just showing that. Mike T was just showing us that here as he's setting us up for the podcast. I gotta get me some of that. It's gonna be delicious. I would think.
Available November 1st, I think. So
yeah,
you'll be waiting in line at Publix that morning.
Be waiting in line just like you should be waiting in line for the new Obsessed Garage sale.
Oh, yeah. What's the story?
So the OG spec gun wand nozzle is I decided to run a pretty aggressive, for me anyway, a 15% off sale. If you're a Hex member, you can do 15 plus 10. So I think that this needs to be in everyone's hands. And I think you need to have this. This is mine, which I don't drop it, but everybody else who uses it apparently drops my gun on the ground because it's my gun. So it's got a little bit scratched up here. But this OG spec version with with the T304 stainless fittings and the integrated plug and swivel that's built into the handle is and then the wand and then you can add it up and buy a bunch of stuff. So we're to add to it. But if you have a Krenzler, you have an AR, you have a Comet, you have a Ryobi, whatever you got, you want to buy this thing, and you'll have this for a really long time. It'll grow with whatever pressure washer you're using, and so we have this is for the first time I have a lot of them. Did we get our nozzles yet?
Yes, they came in today.
Okay, sick. Okay, good. We got a lot of them.
A lot.
Perfect.
A lot.
So we have, for the first time ever, we have guns, we have wands, we have nozzles, we have the insert the nozzle, the 1/8-inch nozzles to go in of all different sizes. And I've been wanting to do this from day one to convince people to get this in your hands, get this, buy this, throw your old one away, give it to your brother, give it to your cousin, sell it on OG Marketplace, do something with it. And I don't like to devalue because I've worked my face off and invested a lot and taken a huge risk on this, but I do want people to buy it, and this is a really slow time typically for us, and so it makes sense to me to run a sale outside my norm, and so this will run from October 15th to November 14th at midnight Eastern.
11:59 p.m.
Eastern. Yep. So don't complain. You have a whole freaking month to get this in. You want to order this, and you want to set it up with your pressure washer, and you want to change your experience. This is no question the best gun, the best fittings currently in the world.
All the OG employees have one of these as well, thanks to Mosmatic.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, remember Jamie?
Oh yeah, I probably paid for that, I'm sure, somehow.
Yeah, so thanks Ecomatic.
So they don't drop theirs. Chris doesn't drop his, he only drops mine.
I come here and drop it every morning before I go sit down at the desk. And Hex Plus members, by the way, your math lesson of the day, 15% off, and then 10% off of that is not 25% off. So don't think it's 25.
Yeah,
it's
like 22 point something.
Yeah, it's closer to that. All right, let's see. Super chat, Jeff C, $10 US. Due to your HOA issues, have you considered doing a high lift conversion on your doors with jack shaft openers? It will clean up the ceiling, and the extra vertical travel will shorten the footprint.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
There you go, Jeff.
If I get around to it. I think I'm going to scrap the lift. I'm just not going to do the lift in there, which kind of stinks. But I'm not going to put my $10,000 lift in a house I'm about to sell, which most of them aren't going to want it. And if they do want it, I'll sell it to them. I'll sell them a lift. Say, hey, we'll come out and we'll put your lift in. So, yeah. I think we're definitely going to do that. So I'm going to look into, I'll get some high lift tracks. The problem is those darn ZR troffers, so I'll probably have to replace the troffers with something else. The troffers are so darn tall, so that messes up my ability to carry the door on that. Now, here's the other question, especially with some people emailing and sending nasty messages to my HOA. I didn't think about that. I've never had anybody do anything like that before, so at least not that I know of. So I'd never even crossed my mind. I thought we had a bunch of grown-ups here, but apparently people are sending them the HOA messages. Don't frickin' do that. I'm already in enough trouble. Now you're going to get me in more trouble. They're going to think it's me making some fake screen name or something like that, or email address. So, what am I going to be allowed to do different doors as long as they're paneled doors? I don't even want to ask. I'm not doing it. So we're going to jank it. We're going to do what everybody else does and just insulate the doors that are there. And then I'm going to high lift them. And I'm not frickin' asking for permission to that because it's all in the inside. And then we'll do jack shaft operators.
Let's see. This is from DubVR6 in the chat. It says, "Hey guys, I ordered from Adams, Griots, and OG within 5 minutes of each other, and OG was by far the biggest order. OG showed up a day before Griots and before Adams even created a shipping label."
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Griots, they probably only showed up a day before because they're probably closer. They had a distribution center closer.
No, we were there a day before.
That's
Griots.
what I meant. I mean, it would probably be 3 or 4 days.
Okay, gotcha. Excellent. So thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Christopher Riga says, "Hey Matt, I just watched the video for the OG spec gun and wand sale and noticed the cup holders and gun holster for the Viper chair. When will that be available in the OG store?" Soon.
Yeah. I guess you got to place an order for that.
Yeah, we don't have them yet. They just went live today on the Viper site. I got an email about that. All right, let's see.
Yeah, Alex pulled a fast one on me. He had me promote it, but he didn't get me any of them to sell. That's the way it goes.
Alex should drive some up to us. You're only like an hour away. Jeff C. says, "I really enjoyed your conversation with Sumit. My Marilex sprayer is way better than the IK. Going to be great for rinseless washes this winter here in Minnesota."
Yeah, I think it was, I've had a relationship with Smeed for a number of years, and I think it's one of those things that I knew, lots of people aren't going to watch that. But those that want to know, and I'm sure the DPC group blew their wigs off, going crazy, thinking, but Smeed is the real deal. I mean, unless he's seems pretty authentic to me. And so I think it was, I wanted to explain the Marilex story and why we have them. And so it was fun. It's a fun conversation.
Yeah, there's a lot of good feedback in that video. There wasn't a ton of views, but most of the people who viewed it, I think, really got a lot out of it.
Yeah, darn YouTube channel. So we're back at it, but man, the views are way down. It's freaking crazy. So Brad's trying to talk us out of doing the podcast. He's trying to get us out of. He says that you guys aren't watching it. Enough of you aren't watching. It's not growing. It's shrinking. Whatever. I like doing it.
We're gonna need
Screw you, Brad. We're doing what we want.
Another Little Debbie challenge. That'll get it back up there. All right, we have a super chat from Improved Garage, $5 US. "Our HOA was created by the builders too, with BS covenants. It's taken 15 years to get members on the board who can actually start to change things." That's usually the way it goes.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Why are we doing this? Why are we allowing this?
Improved Garage, another super chat, $10 US. "I've seen people reporting damaged Husky, Cobalt, New Age cabinets on Facebook. How was your experience been with Sabre and arriving unscathed? Mostly concerned with the door faces."
No, I mean, that's part of the deal. I mean, unless you find some shipper that, Sabre's probably damaged, I would assume less than those others because those others aren't boxed as well. And they're generally, it's cheap, so they don't have a lot of room to put nice pallets and stuff like that. So they're just hoping, shipping it out in a box, hoping that they don't punt it down the street. So Sonic does the best job of boxing and packaging theirs, but even that, when you're shipping this giant giant thing, there's a large percentage the shippers don't care because they know, then they make it difficult for you to file claims, and so they know that most people just give up. I have my entire lot of cabinets, and I had to kind of bang on a couple of them to get them straightened out. So probably 2 out of the 15 or however many cabinets I have in my house, I had to beat on it to get it in, because again, the fix a lot of times is worse than the problem, and so you just kind of knock it around, and it looks good. So expect that. If you expect it, you won't be as disappointed when if there's a little bit of problem. But expect it. But we're doing the best job we can. They package them the best they can, and it's depending on the shipper drives the darn forklift through the front of the thing.
We got a pallet just today here at OG that turned from 1 pallet into 2 because they messed it up so badly on the way. It happens. Let's see. Oh, and there's a shipper that we used before who shall remain nameless, a freight shipper, who we had a big big claim to file. I filed it. They pushed me off for 6 months, thought I would give up, but I never did. And eventually it took 6 months to get $800 out of them. But
how much did we lose? Did we lose 800?
No. We ended up selling off some of the stuff as like scratch and dent and Maddie's mystical wear such.
Gotcha.
So we made a little money, but it took 6 months of my time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Norflet has a super chat here. I don't know what that means, but thanks, Norflet. Gang, gang, buzz, buzz. I'm sure I just like cussed in Croatian or something. Sergio has a super chat, $5 US. What do you think of the transmission in the E36 M3? I'm buying one for a manual swap in a Lexus, as it's more refined than the Toyota 5-speed of the period.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, I haven't driven the car much but we did the UUC short shifter and the solid little connecting rod thingy. I forget what that's called, but it feels pretty mechanical. Feels pretty nice. It's probably certainly not the best transmission I've ever felt, but it doesn't feel rubbery like it did before. So you with the UUC stuff, you can make it decent.
All right, Sean T wants to know. Not sure if you already answered this. He hasn't, Sean. Are you going to change the tire on the RS, or are you going to have the guys from Hunter do that one?
I just put a plug in it. I'll probably end up leaving that darn plug in. We'll see. Just to kind of see how it does. But I put a plug in it so we can take it to the car show tomorrow. So if you're local, come to my neighborhood, get to see what I'm dealing with. And there's an all German sports car show. It's a Villages run show. So it's going to be a little cheesy, I'm sure. But if we have a bunch of people hanging out in a circle, and then we'll run over to my house and show you the garage and where it's at, and the house and where that's at, and we'll run over to HQ and show you the yarn building and all that stuff on your way out. But that's 10 to 2 tomorrow. What was the question again?
If you're going to change the tire.
So I plugged the tire just to hold me over, and then yeah, I think I'll probably do it myself, but just not now. I'm kind of nervous because I can't replace those wheels. I don't want to mess them up. And so we're going to do the Vossen wheels and the TE37s for the Raptor. And so Wednesday is when Glenn and Todd from Hunter are coming, and they're going to give me a full-on training session. I'm going to have Todd do the first wheel and tire, and then I'll do the second and third and fourth, and we'll kind of show me about massaging the bead and setting it up and how to place the weights. And really, now that I've spent 6.5 hours playing with the machine, I know what questions to ask. I know what to look for. I'm going to be able to pay more attention to what matters, and they're going to show me all kinds of tricks and things like that.
All right, so you kind of answered JD's question from Instagram about the meetup tomorrow in Lady Lake. So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Harbor Hills.
Mm-hmm. It's at the Harbor Hills Country Club. You don't have to go through a gate there. You just go to the address there, and then I don't know what they're going to do because I don't think they know what's about to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of us show up. And you have to register to be in the show, so you probably have to park on the street or on the side of the road and walk up to it or something like that. But then you'll see us. All the OG crew is going to be there, and you'll see us, and then we'll kind of gather up and tell everybody where to go. And we go, to check out my house, and we can walk there from the country club if we wanted to, and then we'll go and check out HQ.
Let's see here. Frank L wants to know: did you get the RPG rear frame support with air bumps for any of your Raptors?
Yeah, I did on both. I think we didn't put. Yeah, we did put the bump stops, the air actuated bump stops. So yeah, I did RPG stage 3, and that brace went across the frame.
Corky Wine wants to know: hey Matt, when are the wall mounted vacuums coming? Any dream garage sweepstakes in the near future?
Yeah, I'd love that. Vacuums are, all the companies are blocking me at the moment. So
we're working on bringing the hose reels to the store.
Mm-hmm.
But Cox Hose Reels they're doing all they can to put out all they can right now, so it's going to be a little while. Another super chat, this one from Joe Mangini. Love the content, and your dedication to your passion is admirable. I hope all is well.
Thanks,
Joe. Super nice. El Ray wants to know: are you selling your GT3 RS when you get your GT3 touring?
No. I want to keep it.
Let's see. Cody Spencer, his electrician, is finally there for installing his OG lights that he bought. He's been waiting for 3 months. Crazy. Whew.
Yeah, same here. Lots of wait, man. Wait on everything.
Let's see here. Subi Detail wants to know, hey, Matt, have you and Shelly found land for the new house yet? What's the deal? Is there an update on the land?
Yeah, we should. The lady said she's selling it to us. Unfortunately, part of the reason why they haven't made a decision, our husband passed away, and so obviously she's working on other things. And she said, "Look, well, I'll get with you. I think next week, hopefully, we'll nail it down. But we're buying the lot next to our old house." I went and measured it out, checked it all out, and after I measured it, we walked through the woods and carried a 100-foot tape measure. Oh shoot, I forgot I have that rolling measure thing in here. I wouldn't have been able to do it through the woods anyway. And then I come home and realize I have a survey for it. I have a survey for the whole neighborhood. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, that's the lot. It's 2.4 acres. It's like 480 feet on one. It's like 480 feet deep. And it starts 170 feet wide and then kind of trapezoids out toward the back, and it's 295 feet in the back. And so the house we're planning on building is about 210 feet, so it's going to fill up the lot. But the house will be a good 300 feet off the street, something like that. It's going to be pretty cool.
All right, CJ, speaking of your house, on the last Inside the Hex house update, I saw your pans up on the counter. I can't find a good way to organize my kitchen stuff. Do you have any products or tips for kitchen?
Yeah, I'm going to be working on that here coming up. We're doing Hafele, 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 where if you check them out, they have a whole catalog and they've got some cool stuff. The catalog's like 5,000 pages long, so it gets a little tricky trying to find what you'd need, and I'm hopefully gonna make some videos and show what I end up with that. So I need to practice for when I build my real house.
So we're catching up to the part of the chat here where we were talking about Brad trying to kill the podcast and forever and being mean.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Mike Burr says, please do not kill the podcast. Christopher Baker says, I love listening to the podcast while working. I hope this never goes away. Mm-hmm. Mig Cal says, I like the podcast. It's a nice way to close out the week. Screw you, Brad. That's good. So there. Yeah. I like Improved Garage. I like the podcast too. I actually schedule myself as unavailable from 11 to 1:30 every Friday. Just make sure I don't get booked for a meeting during that.
That's funny.
That's good. Good stuff. All right, let's see. We have a 2-part question on Instagram from OMGT3 Doc. Any updates, first of all, on a detailing cart solution?
No. Lots of guys come out with some cart stuff, but yeah, I mean, someday, with Mike coming here, I'm sure I'll wake up one morning and say, Mike, let's make a cart, and then let's figure out how to sell it.
Check the Facebook group. There's some guys in there.
Yeah, but that is something that we'll probably come up with. That's a much longer term thing. But yeah, it's something we'll come up with at some point.
Let's see. Ali wants to know, what's the deal with the solar panels? You liking them so far? Are you not liking them? You haven't seen a video?
They haven't turned them on yet, so I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
Got all those darn ribs in my teeth. I'm messing me up.
You get your toothpick. Let's see. Lots of people more liking the podcast. More Screw You, Brad. That's good. We like to see that. Do I need the Mosmatic 3/8 coupler if I'm still using my Krenzla with the supplied hose? What orifice do you recommend?
Yeah, Krenzla 1122, you need a 4.0. 1322, you need a 4.0. 1622, you need a 3.5. That's the orifice size. And then you want to replace the some of the Chinese couplers will leak a little bit with this plug. This plug is extremely precise. Sometimes it'll kind of push the O-ring out of the way, and you'll get a little bit of blow-by, if you will, a little bit of water leakage. So in a perfect world, you'd want to swap that. Just know if you have an 1122, your coupler's probably rusted on there, so it's going to take some real fighting to get it off.
Call your wife.
Yeah, call your wife. Get your girlfriend to help you. You're going to have to bang on it. You're going to have to you'll pull the plastic part back past. Spray some penetrating oil in there. And you probably want to pick up a new, if you're going to change the coupler, which you may have to do. We found that some of the new MTMs can leak, but the old MTMs seem to be fine, depending on how old your coupler is. But the other nice thing is, especially if you have like an original 1122 from us, you have that twist and seal coupler that then connects to a 3/8 coupler. So now we can go direct. They have an M22 right to 3/8 coupler, so you can release or get rid of a little bit of bulk. So it's just hard to get that brass tends to rust onto itself. So you got to really bang on that to get it off. It'll come off, but it's just going to be a fight, and you're going to think, and this isn't going to come off, and eventually it will, because I've had that fight several times before.
Tim Brown has some advice for you. Hey, Matt, if you put a plug in that tire, downgrade the speed rating of the tire so don't go over 100 miles an hour.
Nah.
He never goes over 100 anyway.
Nah. I've had plugs.
Any outdoor kitchen updates?
I mean, all the cabinets are in. We'll actually have a video going up here this weekend with a house tour to show you where it's at. They ordered our granite. Then the granite was sold. And then we picked another granite, and they said, you're going to want to come see this. We went to see it, and it was all pink in there. It was all kind of pink veins. So I'm like, I don't want that. And so now Michelle's got to get on it, but I don't know what we're going to do. So we're waiting on our countertop.
Yeah, that was Sriyash asking that question. Matt, the cooking guy, coming soon. Just a month or so. Bywall says, one of my favorite products is the ProLock extension cord. Any chance we see a version 2 that offers some kind of advantage? Maybe a slimmer locking head? Love it, though. It's the only cord I use.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now we're currently out of stock on some of the black ones. They've been reordered, but like a lot of other things, it's taking a while because they're waiting on what they need.
And so that's where we're going to change how we do this, where instead of email when available or click in the back order, you're going to click reserve, reserve your spot. And we're going to lock it down, and then that's going to also motivate us even more to go get it, and have us say, hey, we got 382 of these sold. You need to get moving on this. So Bywall, we got more coming. It's going to be a little while, but when they do come, there's going to be a lot of them. I know that. TC24 is quoting you here, just in case this happens later. Mm-hmm. No, I want to keep the GT3 RS, and then today's date. So yeah, keep that TC. That might come in handy next week. Let's see. Matt, this is from Martin. What would you recommend on a black Audi? Wax or coating? Which one? Yeah, I mean, I think we're at the point now where we can say just always coat. Even stuff like my cars aren't driven a lot. I mean, I think you still coat them. CSL XO is a very wax-like. Then you can top it with our drying aid, which looks fantastic. And so, part of my issues with coatings in the beginning is I just didn't like how they look. They look weird. Like the one on my E46, that Art to Shine graphene stuff looks weird to me. Looks kind of fake. And so the C-Quartz stuff and the G-Technic stuff looks, I think, better, or as good as wax, and lasts a long time.
Good. You answered Ethan's question from Facebook. Then he said, is there any scenario in which you'd opt for power lock and Colonite combo, or is CSL taken over completely for you?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I would only wax, like I should have waxed the Civic when I corrected it and coated it, and then I had to do it again after the Civic was done. And so I would have waxed the E46 if it wasn't already coated. And so wax for me would be more of the temporary solution while I'm building the car. So that way I can wash it and it still, still beads up water and all that crap and makes the washing experience better. But yeah, I don't do that anymore.
All right, let's see. From Viper Chair, here's Alex in the chat. He's claiming he's out of his area right now. Thought you guys had already ordered some sidekicks. Let's get an OG order in and get them out to you ASAP. I'll send an email after the podcast, Alex. Sergio has a super chat, $5 US. Having Jesscar, Cutmax, and 101 compounds, what situations do you find yourself using one over the other? What's your process to decide?
Well, you're going to perform a test spot, right? And you're going to want to use the least aggressive method possible. Now, if you have some experience with different paint systems and different types of manufacturers, usually kind of have similar tendencies, even in different colors, you can generally kind of sense what's going to work and what's not. And so I would generally start with Jesscar and perform a test spot, do like a little 1x1 section and see what happened. Get your light out and look at it. And if you're not happy with the results of that, then I would go and say, well, maybe Cutmax, because I think Cutmax is a little more aggressive. Maybe I'll try that. And then you switch over to that. And then if that doesn't work, then maybe you'll switch over to 101, something really aggressive.
Now, one could argue that maybe instead of even doing any of that, maybe you should adjust the amount of liquid. You should adjust, maybe you spray some water. As you start to get more sophisticated, you'd adjust how you blow out the pad, how many passes you make, how much pressure you're using, all these different things, what kind of pad. And so it really is just dependent on how your test spot is going and what you're seeing as you're working.
There you go. That was similar to some of the feedback in the chat, starting with Jessica, since it was the least aggressive, and going from there.
Yep.
Let's see. Our own Brad Bacon chimed in, says he feels attacked because everyone's saying screw Brad. So if you want the podcast to stick around, just type that in the chat. Screw you, Brad.
Yeah.
All right. James Clark, our big-headed buddy from North Carolina. Afternoon, Matt and Chris. Any idea when the hat Matt is currently wearing will be back in the store? Well, hats are another thing that are Bryce's. We're trying to get more of them, but there are certain hats that just aren't available.
They don't have. Yeah, they're sitting on a boat somewhere, swirling around the port.
So James, as soon as we can is the answer, but not. It's probably months instead of weeks, sadly. Stent Placer says bought more shirts today. Black 2X is out of stock. That's because I bought them all. Stent Placer. I'm wearing them now. Just kidding. We're getting more soon. We actually have a brand new shirt. The October shirt of the month is coming out very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Connor L. Hey, Matt. You mentioned in some of your videos that you had a coach or mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions for places to receive mentorship on the subject of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's tricky, man. I talked about this inside the Hex here recently about how, talking about a coach and how do you find one, and it's not like that's a difficult thing to do. They generally enter into your life. You just have to be open to it. If you just ran down the street and said, hey, I need a mentor, or someone's going to say, I'll be your mentor, I'll pay you if you pay me X, but they're probably not who you want. So I've had several mentors in my life, and they just kind of show up at the right time. Then you have to be open to it and be coachable. So being coachable, I think people will, if you present that. I don't put an effort into being coachable. It's just you just are or you aren't. And when you are coachable, I think that people have a tendency to gravitate toward you, and then you will probably find someone. So all of this discussion, I'm oftentimes talking about how you're using Chinese knockoff polishers, or you have crappy buckets and you're a professional detailer or something like that. That's a microcosm of what you're going to attract. You attract who you want to be or who you are, or you don't attract who you want to be. You attract who you are. And so you'll tend to attract people like that around you. And so that's why I think Obsessed Garage, we have some of the best customers on the planet, clients on the planet, because of how I'm being and how I'm speaking and how I'm the people that are going to be entitled and people that are going to want you to bend over backwards and going to treat you as if, they're in charge of you, are going to be turned off by me saying the things that I say. But the people that are in it together, the people that you want to work with, the people that will kind of knock their cabinet straight because they realize that shipping companies, it's hard to deal with them, are the ones that'll show up based on how you're being and how you are. And so I think that finding a mentor or coach will come into your life, and if you're open to it. And I'm not saying getting a crystal ball out here and predicting your future. I'm just saying that it's one of those things you have to be patient on, and you have to be inquisitive. And a lot of times, especially if you're introverted, you'll attract other introverts. And so you may have mentors in your life already but they're not approaching you. So you may need to approach them and make a request of them that they help, they provide you some advice. And you got to be careful in that entrepreneurship place, because there's a lot of self-help bullcrap and a lot of people trying to take your money. And you'll sniff out authenticity. If you have some authenticness in your life, if you are somewhat authentic, you'll easily be able to identify those that are not.
Julia wants to know, are you going to sell the Ego blower with the stubby as a package?
We've tried. I'm not giving up. Someday we will.
Not yet, Julian.
They've denied us twice.
Let's see, from RLL850, Matt. I applied CarPro Deluxe and my Raptors plastics, and now they turn white and chalky. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. Could be a bad batch of the product. I mean, as long as you prepped it, you wiped it off. I mean, if your plastics were already white and chalky, then they probably need to be like dry ice cleaned or replaced. So what'll happen is if you already have white chalked up, kind of sun bleached, that's when generally you have UV damage to the plastic. You'd have to kind of skin the top layer off. That's where dry ice can come in, and then you can coat over it to protect it in the future. But if they were already sort of damaged from UV, and then you put the Deluxe on and it turned nice and dark, you probably just the coating just took a little while. If they're brand new, I don't know, or maybe a bad batch, I don't know. And you're probably screwed if that's the case. You're gonna have to replace all the darn plastic.
Yes, sir. Ski says, "Hey Matt, I purchased the Sunjoe MTM swiveling sprayer wand foam cannon upgrade, and it's amazing, but I can't get enough soap. What do you recommend to buy next to take my pressure washer to the next stage?"
I'm assuming he means enough foam on his soap, and so you probably have hard water. Make sure you've swapped to the 1.1 millimeter orifice. I'm assuming if you bought it from us, we'd already set that up for him. Make sure that your filter isn't clogged. That's on the front of the thing. You change the filters every so often. So if you have hard water, then go get some filtered water and use that in your foam cannon. If that still isn't working, you can use warm water with your soap in the foam can to make the soap more soluble. You'll foam up a little bit better. So you just kind of have to play with dilutions. Make sure you're using 150 milliliters of soap. Make sure you're using a good soap that that foams, GSF, Adams, something like that. People have been telling me the CarPro Reset actually foams really well. It didn't used to foam. The formula, the last time I used it foamed terribly. But I think it foams well now. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Arian FSL says, "Hey Matt, I just finished my last bottle of Bead Maker. Thinking about trying your drying aid. How does it compare to CarPro Elixir and Bead Maker?"
Bead Maker, it looks very similar to it. It just goes on a lot easier. So the look is very similar, if not slightly better. You don't have to use as much product, but it's just much more forgiving. But Bead Maker still looks fantastic. It's just you won't have issues with streaking and things like that. What was my other choice? The
CarPro Elixir.
Yeah, I mean, Elixir's a good combination. It's a good coating refresh because it has some reload in it, which is their, SiO2 actual, sealant. Elixir, goes on well. I'd actually prefer ECH2O if you're going to do drying aid, not Elixir. I don't think you need that additional reload on there. So I think, but I just think that I know that the OG drying aid looks better. Bead Maker looks better than Elixir. We're splitting hairs here. All three of them are going to work fine.
Let's see, from Eric in the chat. What are your thoughts on the new blue Recaros for the Gen 3 Raptor? I'm concerned about how they may hold up in comparison to the regular black leather. I feel like Ford's black leather isn't the highest quality.
I think it'd hold up fine. I mean, if you're doing a lot of off-roading and stuff, you're probably not going to want to order that option. But I think once every 6 months or probably 9 months or so, you want to go and clean the Alcantara. And but I don't think you want to put any coatings and any of that weird crap on it.
Let's see, from Travis on Instagram. When will I be able to order OG spec pressure washer hose and custom lengths? What's the top priority for curated manufacturing?
Well, we got our first 1,000 feet of hose. We're supposed to get 100,000. We were all excited. Saw tracking. 50,000 was coming. We got 1,000. That's what they gave us. So supposedly 20 more thousands coming. We got to figure out how to make the hose. We got to get our regular hose back in stock first, and then we'll figure out how to build a custom setup.
Let's see. Dairyland Detailing says, recently moved to a new home, which is packed with yellow light bulbs. Could you please remind me what temp color you recommend for inside of the house? It
depends. I've kind of moderated on this a bit. My last house, 3000, really made the house look different. This house is so gray and white that I think I need 3500. So it depends. If you have a lot of grays and whites, I think you want to go 3500K. If you start to get to 4000, it starts to feel a little bit too sterile. And I think that you want to do super high quality lights. I mean, I did the Cree connected Max on the outside, and I did one in Kate's bathroom. Those lights are junk. They look terrible. They're rated very highly on the, according to Cree, but they're junk. But the CR6s are fantastic. We'll have them in the store here soon if you need a retrofit. Just waiting on some sort of stock. But the color temp depends on the color of your house, but I think you want at least 3,000 or 3,500.
All right, let's see here. Richard L. wants to know, is there an OG spec car phone charger?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a freaking baby. I don't need to charge my phone in the car.
You only drive 2 miles at a time.
It doesn't matter.
What's the name of this company?
We're all day.
Yes. Satechi. Is that how you say that?
Yeah,
You get stuff from-
Satechi.
Satechi.
Yeah.
I got one from them, and it's 10 times better than the one I had before. So, SATECHI.
So
That's what you want to go with, Richard.
I have my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 90% charge.
Okay.
What's the difference between sitting at this desk or sitting in a car for half an hour?
Well, hopefully you wouldn't use it in the car, so it wouldn't.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
more.
well,
You're probably using it more at your desk than you're at the car. What do I need a freaking car charger for? Charge your phone at night. iPhones are really sophisticated and they don't overcharge. They charge, based on your patterns. And what do you need to plug it in for? I guess maybe if you're talking on the phone all day.
Yeah, maybe he drives and
Stop
he's going
talking.
from region to region, talking to his clients, drinking water in his car, and eating cheeseburgers. Keep it up, Richard. Fight the good fight.
Yeah, no, you don't need that crap. Stop this nonsense.
All right, let's see here. Paul Shepard says, your new Swiss Tracks floor looks nice.
Oh, yeah, it looks good.
What color tiles did you use?
Always slate gray and black.
All right, then also, can quotes for shipping be better than the website? I want to honor the source, but over $3,700 USD. That means you're probably from somewhere else. For shipping alone, thanks.
Eeh. Oh,
Yeah.
for flooring? Yeah, we can probably do better than that, but we have to get a quote, yeah.
Yeah, and international can be tricky with Swiss Tracks, so email support at Obsessed Garage to
Yeah.
help you out with that, because we don't usually ship internationally when it comes to Swiss Tracks. Let's see. Yasirski wants to know, do you recommend upgrading from your 40-degree nozzle to OG spec Mosmatic nozzle assembly for my son Joe?
Yes, but you need the wand. So if you're going to upgrade the nozzle, you need to change the wand too. Because anyways, you got this weird nozzle on top of a nozzle. Or a nozzle protector stacked on top of a nozzle protector. So you want to get the new wand.
It came up in testing, actually.
Yeah.
It was the double. All right, Whitey, on Instagram. Any update on whether or not Milwaukee will be coming out with a random orbital polisher?
Yeah, they will be. I haven't heard any more about it. They sent some prototypes to a couple of friends of mine. They're professionals, but I haven't heard anything. That was about 6 months ago. So I mean, they usually take several years to develop something like that.
He also says, thank you. I just purchased the ultimate solution for my active pressure washer, and it's worth every penny. And when the active is junk, I'll be getting 1322. Thanks, man, for creating these solutions.
Perfectly set up for it.
Tascon wants to know, when it comes to the Sidekick from Viper, if I add a Sidekick to my Viper Industrial Robust Steel Pro, can I attach the Viper backrest as well? I noticed the additional holes on the Sidekick.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely can. I don't know if I love the Sidekick. The jury's still out on that for me. I was using it this morning. I was nervous I was going to whack my car.
Easy question for you here from Mysteriga on Instagram. What's up, Matt and Chris? Matt, I noticed when you guys were installing the Swiss Tracks in the ARM building that you have a different style of Fiat compressor. Is this one better suited for the dry ice machines, and what's the price tag on it?
Yes, it's a silent piston compressor. It's a little less in that I think. What's the big one? The big one is just over there, 5,500. So I think it's about that same cost. We need to get it up in the store here soon. But you can have an integrated. I think mine was 6,000, but it has an integrated dryer as well. So it has basically a T-Drive 4 attached to the side of it. but it's a low RPM piston compressor. With the lower the RPM, generally the quieter they are. And then they have a big shroud, like a big soundproof shroud that goes around it. So that one delivers somewhere around 28, 29 CFM versus the one in the rotary screw in my garage over here is delivering like 11, 12 CFM. So it's able to deliver a whole lot more. Now it's quite a bit louder, but it's still silent in comparison to a normal compressor. It's awesome. We'll have some videos on it coming up.
Hayden wants to know from Instagram, hey Matt, super excited for your new Crenzel setup in the Yarn building. Are you going to put a CR spotless underneath it? You seem to rarely use it, so I'm just curious.
Yes. Sorry, no. In the Yarn building, no. At my house, yes, but in the Yarn building, no. It won't do anything for the Crenzel. The 3.3 gallons per minute. The water will just shoot right past it, basically. So we're gonna figure something else out.
Donnie Tomko in the chat says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much will I enjoy the OG spec Mosmatic pressure washer sprayer and wand?
I don't want to oversell it, but it's in the world of guns, it's 10. No question, it's the best there is. The question is the best there is the best that could be? Maybe not. I'm sure there's always room for improvement, but yeah, it's up there. This is your shot. This will never be on sale again. I can promise you that. I hate doing that. I've worked so hard for this and then given away all the profit. It's not like we share in this, right? It's like 15% comes off of here and 15% comes off the cost. In fact, Chris was sitting there when I was hammering Mosmatic and said, "Hey, I want to sell some of these. How about we split this?" And he said, "Absolutely not."
He laughed first, and then he said, "That was good." Let's see. Shane, a buddy of ours from Australia. Hey, Matt, I'm wanting to buy the...
let's answer this on the phone. Let's see. I bet this is about a garden hose fitting. Let's see here.
This could be good.
Hey, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt. I was checking on a Crenzel pressure sprayer that I ordered back in July.
Okay.
And didn't know if you knew where it would be. I was told October, and I've got nothing.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still not here yet. They're probably floating out on the freaking ports and on the waiting. So we have like 300 of them. We're all sitting here yelling and screaming, but I can promise you the millisecond we get them, they're definitely going out. And if you ordered it in July, you're like in the top spots. So
can you tell me if you still y'all fulfill part of it?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if it's still, when I went to look at it, it shows the parts shipped, but you only ship the wand.
Yeah, can you do this? I'm live on the podcast. Can you shoot my guys support at obsessedgarage.com and they'll get back to you.
Okay.
They'll get you all that. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bye. So I'm always nice. If you buy a Crenzel, I'll talk to you all day. If you wanted to, I get calls like that all the time. Remember, we don't have a phone number, right? But I could tell. I knew it. So thanks to that gentleman for supporting us. I'm taking a new tact here, Chris. Before I would have read him the riot act. Again, I've changed my tune on this. The reason we don't have our phone number listed, we don't have a phone number. All I have is my phone number. The reason for that is there are 5 of us. Me, Tommy, actually not even 5 of us because Daniel's new, right? And so he doesn't have all the information yet. So me, Tommy, Manny, and really that's it.
Half a Daniel.
Yeah, half a Daniel, little bit of Bryce, some of Lewis, a little bit of Kyle, there's only, so there really is only 3 or 4 people in the world that has this grouping of knowledge. Now, not where's my stuff, but again, if we were picking up the phone every time we have thousands of orders, so like not like fake thousands, like real thousands of orders every month come in, 3, 4, 5,000 orders, and so we have to manage that. We have to manage the time, because if I hired some people, which I could hire some people dirt cheap that answer the phone, they're not going to know anything, and they're just going to annoy the crap out of you. So I think the best way to do this from now until forever is to have this queue set up, And someday we're gonna, I'm gonna advertise that when you search for my phone number, that it then comes up, hey, don't call this number. You really want to and give as much detail as possible. That way you don't have back and forth emails. Like if you're just, hey, where's my order? It's like put in as much information. Hey, I got this, I got that. I'm wondering, is my wand here? Like that gentleman had a question about. Put it more detail in. But what my tone, the reason my tone has changed on this, instead of just stop freaking calling, I want you to call, but I want you to email, because you want the information that those guys have. And I'm going to continue to hire more and more and more that's appropriate for the amount of profitability that we have, because I don't want to mark everything up, because then no one will buy it. And so, because everybody expects the information that these 3 or 4 guys have for free, which I am giving it to them for free, but they expect it right this second, and that's just not. I've a couple of choices. I could farm it out to India and have you just yelling at the phone, get no information, or we can make sure that we have a queue set up, and you get the information a day or 3 hours or 16 hours or whatever it is later. Eventually, hopefully, we can have it where we guys are on standby, just answering questions fast, like immediately, but. In the meantime, I'm balancing this, creating products like the OG Spec gun, buying the inventory, and then hiring people to support it. We have the best support. We have the most intelligent, most educated people on the planet doing this stuff. No one else knows. No other retailer knows any of this stuff. They only know what we taught them. And then, if there's any problems or fixes with Krensla, we made that happen working with Krensla. It's those guys, it's Tommy and his team that are doing that. And so you want to, just like we're going to be in a place for the next year and a half where you want to lock your spot down for the product, you're going to want to lock your spot down for getting the information that you want. And just asking you to be patient if you can. Because if I answer the phone as much as it rings, if we had a phone number, we'd never get anything done. It would never get anything done. In fact, I had one guy call me 4 times in a day and a half. Well, I'm thinking about buying this garden hose coupler. And he called me, well, what's the difference between the Prevost and the MTM coupler? And then he called me, I see this inlet hose. That's a pretty neat idea. Do you have those in stock? And then he called me back and said, okay, I'm going to get it all. How do I do that? No joke. It was like a $38 order. Like, dear Lord.
We also had that guy who called, I guess he found the number on his statement from American Express. Is that how you figured it out?
Probably, yeah.
That your phone number might pop up there.
He's like, I think I got a fraud in charge. What is this Obsessed Garage? Turned out his wife bought him some stuff. So she's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's good. He was very understanding once he figured that out. I was like, oh, yep, that's my wife. All right, let's see. I was reading here from Shane in Australia. Hey, Matt. I'm wanting to buy the Prevost system, piping and ball valves, the whole kit.
Yep.
Reason is, I'm thinking if I should order a CR Spotless. We don't have any good DI brands like CR Spotless here in Australia, and wanted to know if I should wait for your DI system you're building with Mike.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at on that, so I don't know how long you want to wait for, but it's not weeks or months out. It's like not even a thing we've started yet. Mike's going to come here. He and I are going to be drinking from a fire hose for probably 3 or 4 or 5 months, getting everything here dialed in, making all kinds of content, improving all kinds of things. And then we'll start to dig into some of these side projects that we'll start working on, like crafting our own deionizing system, stuff like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't suggest waiting.
Let's see here. This is from Colin Mack. Quick house question. Curious if Matt has ever explored porous pavers or porous concrete for an OG Spec garage / driveway build.
I've seen that, but no, I don't know much about it. The problem with having that just in the garage, like in the garage floor, is when you do and eventually spill something, they generally stain, so you need to burnish it or chemically treat it then. And it just it can become slick and things like that. I'm not an expert in that because I really don't have much of an interest in it. But there are ways to, I think, to make your concrete sealed up and not so slippery. But it gets complicated, and then it gets difficult finding an expert that can actually perform that and install that for you. That's the tricky part.
This question is from Eric Wheeler on Facebook. I just ordered a set of Method wheels in bronze.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if I will have any issues using Brake Buster on them. I know Matt has run Methods in the past and assume the finish is the same across the line on all colors, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think it'd be fine. I'd coat them, and obviously you got to be careful. You don't want to like spray the wheel down with an alkaline cleaner and then walk away. When it's hot and the sun's beating on it. That's what you have to be worried about. You do it in the shade, and don't let it dry. If you do it the way I do it, you're doing it in the shade, you're using the foam cannon, you're cleaning the wheel, you're rinsing it off, it shouldn't be a problem. It won't be a problem.
All right, hey, Matt, what is the next wash and talk?
Just shot one this morning, GT4. Quick one.
Quick one.
Well, 45 minutes a quick, but, 50 minutes a quick.
Josh Verdeck on Facebook saw the OG post yesterday about the paint care kit for matte/frost paints.
Yep.
What is the consensus for matte/stealth PPF, though? Is it necessary to use the Dr. B's products for stealth
Probably
PPF?
not, but it certainly can't hurt. You don't want to clog it up with a bunch of weird crap, But PPF, I think, is much more forgiving, stealth PPF, than stealth paint.
Well, then his option there was, or just go with G-Technic Halo and GSF and OG Drying Aid.
Yeah, that I think would be sufficient.
All right, Chris Grosso wants to know, hey, Matt, what's your opinion on the microfiber Madness Incredible pole for people who have large trucks? Would you sell in the OG store? We used to. Or is there another option you recommend?
It's your only option, but the pole is junk. The pad is great. We brought it in for like a week, and then I was using it, and I realized this thing is terrible. I can't sell this, and we pulled it. So maybe you figure out some sort of modification where you use the pad and then figure out a different pole. But the pole was not very good unless they've changed it. It was, last year was pretty terrible.
All right. Also, it's getting cold here in the Northeast soon. Mm-hmm. Will you have hoodies available soon, non-zip up?
Yes, really nice ones.
We have 3 of them, 3 different colors, including one really cool color that I like a lot. Keith Johnson says, I got a question for Matt. I'm in the market for a 3-inch polisher. Mm-hmm. What prompted you to change your preference from the Rupes to the Flex?
I just used it, and it has a little bit more output, a little more torque, I guess you could say. It also has the control, the speed control is above the power cord instead of below it, which is kind of nice. I think it's a little less expensive, if I remember correctly. It's just a better machine. I like the Rupes. You can't go wrong with the Rupes, but I like the Flex better.
Let's see.
Do we still carry the 3-inch Rupes? I don't remember.
What's the model number? LH? No.
I don't know if I decided to keep it there. What the heck's going on with my freaking scratch my face?
Let's see. We got 15, 21, 3-inch. 75. Then there's a 75E.
Yeah.
Yes, we carry it. We just we're waiting on our next order.
Yeah.
So LHR 75E will have more soon. Orders on the way.
Face.
All right, let's see. Robbie Irwin on Facebook. Currently have a Krenslow pressure washing solution on back order. From the stock update page, it looks like the one item I'll be waiting on the longest would be the Cobra Jet hose. If you start making in-house hoses, could I get that shipped instead of the Cobra Jet hose? More than willing to pay the difference in price.
Yep. That's the plan. We're gonna get whatever we can get, and then offer up people various options. So that's the hope.
And Robbie, you gave us a great segue into what Matt is talking about here. So would you consider allowing us to back order anything you're sold out of in the store? I'm not a baby, and I do understand how hard it is to get things in stock. I'm willing to wait. I just want to get my place in line.
I'm the exact same way. Lock it down. I trust you. Get it to me when you get it. Get it to me as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do is, every product, and now forgive me here, this is going to benefit me more than it benefits you, because I'm going to get your money up front. We can't be doing deposits, because think about this logically. Let's say we had 300 reserved Krensless, and let's say there are 300 deposits, and so then 200 Krensless show up, right? We send out an email or a notification, hey, everybody who's a deposit, go in and pay for your Krensla, you are the first 200. And so those 200, of the 200, 125 of them pay right then and there. We ship them out, right? And then there's 75. Of the 75, we have to send in another email because those ones that we send another email, and of the 75, 25 more of them say, okay, they pay. We send out those 25. Then there's 50 more. And those 50 are like, can I change my order? Can I do this? Can I do that? I came upon hard times and cancel my order. So 25, and we figure out what they want. And then there's 25 we can't get a hold of. So then we wait a week, another 2 weeks. And then by the end, there's 20 left of the 200. So then we go to the next 20 in line, and we play this dance forever, dancing back and forth. And so the 20 that then the 20 that are left, 11 of them finally send their email back, and they say, "Oh, sorry, I was on the toilet, or I was out of town, or whatever. I'm ready for my pressure washer." Well, we already sold it to the next 20 in line, so we're playing this dance forever, and it's like an exponential curve as you get to zero, but we never actually get those 200 pressure washers placed. Instead, 300 people pay, 200 come. 200 ship immediately. And that is, I hate this so much, but this is the world I think we're going to live. I'm literally going to start ordering my appliances and stuff for my house. Like
2 years ahead of time.
Yeah, 2 years ahead of schedule. Couches, furniture, stuff like that. 2 years ahead of schedule. And so I think that the buying power that we have and the influence that we have and with the vendors that we work with, I think that we're going to not have those things where it's 2 years out, but they're going to be 2 months or 6 weeks or 9 weeks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a setup where you reserve instead of like email when available, because that's the frustrating thing. Is like, I want a Krensla. I decided I wanted one. I know I can't get one, so let me just wait till it comes in stock. And you wait and you wait and I think you'd be waiting 2 years. Literally, before you'd ever have a chance to get one. And then you're going to be like, well, shoot, I wish I would have gotten it. And I know when you get it, you're going to be like, dang, I wish I got this thing a long time ago. And so we're going to create a system for everybody to lock their spot down on every product. If it's in stock, it's going to ship. The other policy we're going to have is we're going to split ship once. Right? And so let's say you bought 22 things, 12 of them are in stock, 10 of them are not. So we place the order. We're going to ship out the 12 things immediately, because if I split it up 9 different times, then we're going to lose money. And so because when we have the extra boxes, and this is at Amazon, I don't know how they make any money. It's because they pass off the cost to the vendors that are actually selling the stuff. And so we're going to split it once. We're going to lock the place down. And the other thing we're going to change, the warehouse is going to figure this out. Everything's going to be bagged and tagged. And so when you place an order, because another thing that happens is, let's say you order 3 things. This is on our end. You don't care about this, but you will when you want your product. Let's say you order 3 things. Like he'd mentioned, a Krensla and a Cobra Jet. He's like, shoot, the Cobra Jet's going to be the holdup. So now the Krenslas drop ship currently. We're going to bring them in-house, but they currently drop ship. And so the Krensla will ship. But normally if it was 3 things that we stock here. So let's say that you have 3 things. One of them's here, the other 2 are not. And let's say we're not splitting up the shipping. So the one thing's sitting here on the shelf. Then the second thing comes in, and then we have that sitting on the shelf. But then we somehow grabbed your first thing and put it in another box for somebody else. And then the third thing comes, and we're waiting on the first thing. And then we moved the third thing because we didn't have the first thing anyway, and so you keep getting bumped because you have 3 really weird things. Well, we're going to tag everything. This is reserved for John. It's going to be first come first serve. We're going to have a really sophisticated system to track that. Everything's going to have big red stickers on it, so we can't give it up and all of that. And so we're going to create a system. We're going to have to survive. And I'm just like that guy where, like I have 4-wheel parts wholesalers keeps calling me. Hey, do you want to cancel your tires? I'm like, no, leave the order in there. The full paid, keep it in there. I know you have my money. I know you're sitting on it. I know your employees want to get rid of me. I'm not bothering them. I know they want to ship it. They'll ship it to me as soon as they get it. And there's no ETA right now. Then the other thing we're going to do is once a week, literally every week, I don't know what day it's going to come out, but once a week, we're going to send you an email. So you're going to want to be on this list, I'm telling you. We're going to make some fun content. So every week, you're going to get a special, it's almost like an Inside the Hex, but it's inside the line or whatever we call it, inside the reserve or the reserve list or something. I don't want to call it something cool. It's going to be basically a membership platform. You're going to get an email with a URL locked link to a video. I don't know. It needs to be if it's 45 minutes, an hour, or 20 minutes, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to make you a video every week that only people who are waiting are going to get. And at the bottom of that email, it's going to show where your stuff is and what we know. Here it's going to be, what we know every week. Here's where we're at. Like with Krenzla. Hey, we knew they were due in October. They were due October 10th. They're not here. Here's where we think they are. Here's our update from Krenzla. And so, Tommy and his team are going to be, just intimately involved in where everything is. And so that way you won't have to email us and call us and say, hey, where's my Krenzla? We're going to be emailing you every week. And hopefully it'll be a useful email, or we, get to get in your living room and talk to you a little bit on the computer, give you something to laugh at, something fun, from make some parody videos or something. And I think that you're going to like that. So that's my plan on the business surviving, because it's not going to survive if we don't. I can tell you that right now. No, very few businesses are going to survive. The supply chain is unless something drastic happens, is not good.
I think it's going to be worse before it gets better, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kyle York, while you were talking about that, the whole pre-order, not back order, whatever we're going to call it. I'm glad you did that for the Ego Nozzle in terms of the pre-order. And so then someone asked for an update on how many we've sold so far, so I brought that up. Hold on. There it goes. 537.
So the first batch is 1,000, right?
That's what we're hoping, yes.
So that would be the first batch. So you need to keep that in mind. And then so there's only 600 spots left, roughly 650 spots left. And that's 537 reserved for something we don't know when it's coming. I get that. But I think that the next 2 batches at least will be sold out before we get them. So just keep that in mind. And that's not like I'm not trying to play a game with anybody. This is the way it's going to be. I ordered an iPhone 13 and I ordered it the right way, and everybody else went to the store and beat me to it. But I'm getting it like next week. I ordered it a month ago. And that's going to be, I think that most products are going to be, 4 to 6 weeks, but some of them are going to be 4 to 6 months. And we're going to fight like no one else is willing to fight for you, because we're going to have that pressure of you place your order and your money's sitting there. And I'm going to do everything I can to keep you up to date on it so you don't have to ask us.
All right, let's see. We have a couple quick questions here. Number one, from a good question here from Improved Garage. Can I order something on perpetual back order just to get the video each week?
Yes, you can. Just keep doing it. Just look for something. Yeah. Even if it's like $5, you just order something and you can get on there. I think you're gonna like it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Hope that we run out of stickers or something cheap like that.
The other thing I'm thinking about doing, we're gonna sit down next week and figure this out, is for the holiday, because a lot of the stuff on Black Friday we're gonna sell is not gonna be available and probably won't be available by Christmas. And so we're gonna try to figure out something we can either email that you could print off, which I don't love, or we can send out that your significant other can wrap for you, kind of like a gift card. I mean, the smartest thing to do is just buy a gift card, but kind of like a gift card. I would think you would encourage your significant other that's buying for you, or if you're buying for yourself, rather than buying a gift card, you want to lock down the item, because a gift card won't lock down what you want. And then we're going to try to figure out something. I don't know if we can do this or pull this off, where it's some sort of little placard or something where we send in the mail to you, something that doesn't cost us a lot to ship, because it's kind of a waste. It's something you're going to throw away. But it says, hey, you got something awesome coming, but guess what? The pandemic's messed it up. You don't have it. And so it's coming to you. We don't know if you're going to get it in 2 days from now or 2 years from now, but you're going to get it. I bought it. Merry Christmas. Love you, or something like that. Something cool. So we're going to do that as well. I'm looking for I'm thinking of things, the ideas, things that I would want, and knowing that sometimes the wait, the anticipation's part of the fun. It's most of the fun for me. I get the thing, and I'm always disappointed. So it's the journey, man. It's the journey.
All right, let's see here. Steve says, I've just got the AR630. Want to get the OG Mosmatic nozzle, 40 degree.
Yep.
What orifice do I get?
5.0.
Correct.
Some people like a 4.5. I like a 5.0. I'm adamant that I've tried it, and I said, no, you guys are idiots. You want the 5.0.
And then Kyle York in the chat, remind them we do have this pressure washer spreadsheet. That's how I found it out. If you go to our site, For the Obsessed is the menu at the top you want to look for, and then go over to the left. There's pressure.
Or just hover over pressure washing, and it's on the right. See that?
Oh yeah, nice. Pressure washing all the way to the right.
Yep.
Okay.
And the spreadsheet will be updated here soon when we test the.
We're getting the data from the new stuff.
Yep.
Let's see. TC24 says, "Hey there, Chris. What are the analytics on the monitor behind Matt showing besides the chat? I don't know. What is that? It shows average watch time, the concurrent viewers. What else?
That's it.
Yeah.
How much money we made?
Chat revenue. Ooh, we're almost at $100. $99.98. How many likes?
Somebody's gonna give us 2 cents now.
Yeah, somebody get us $200.
Can you even do 2 cents? I think you probably can.
Let's see. Matt Duffy says, send a signed picture of you holding the order confirmation.
That would be funny.
Just
Be standing there just all day, just picture after picture after picture after picture. And you have to Photoshop it.
Oh, that's good. All right, let's see here. We got one more question I want to get to here from our buddies on Instagram. From Chandler Ross, we'll close it with this philosophical question here. How did you come to know yourself so well? You seem to have a real accurate gauge on your specific skill sets and strengths and know what's not in your wheelhouse. Is that just time and experience or some sort of process where you learned your strengths and gifts? Or both, I guess.
Well, I've had to spend a lot of time on self-reflection attempting to fix my problems, and so I've spent a lot of time in therapy. I spend at least an hour a week on it. Attempting to be able to drive down the street, and then what's also helped me, it's been really introspective, having to make videos and talk, and sit there and talk on camera, and it's become so I have an hour scheduled a doctorate, a doctor discussion. But I also have countless hours of therapy every week when I'm talking to you right now as part of that. And so I've had to think about these things as I'm always on camera and always discussing and always filling in the gaps. I've always thought that the real value that I can provide the world is the in-between. It's not the washing of the car, it's the discussion of the life discoveries and the epiphanies along the way. And I just have a natural tendency toward being inquisitive about myself because I'm always attempting to get better and fix some things. And so part of it for me it's just the way I'm wired. But a lot of it has been the therapy aspect of making sure that I, figure things out while I'm discussing it on camera. And what's been super helpful for me is a willingness to be vulnerable, on camera and tell the truth, because from what I understand, that it comes natural to me, but I think for a lot of people that's a difficult thing to do. Is you don't want to put put it forward that you really don't know anything, or you don't know what's going on, or you don't know what you're doing, or that you have some sort of problem. For me, I put it out there, and let's say there's 300 people watching right now. Imagine I don't view it as there's 300 people in a room when really there kind of is. And actually there will be 5,000 or 6,000 people that watch this, probably another 5,000 or 6,000 that listen on podcast. So there's a proverbial I'm standing in front of 10,000 people telling them my faults. And I don't view it, I don't feel that pressure. I don't think of it that way. I just think of it as I like to talk about what I like to talk about. Otherwise, I don't like to talk. How many times you come in there and I'm just looking at the wall, or my mom's she's relentless, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. I've made how many videos? I made 3 hour plus long videos today. 4 videos. I made 4 videos. I made the tire plugging video, which was a short one. that 20-minute video. I made another hour-long dry ice washing, waterless washing. I made a wash and talk, and I made a full 50-minute long, hour-long house tour. And then I'm doing an hour-and-a-half long podcast. I could only do that if I was super passionate about what I'm talking about. And so there's a lot of just innate, born with it type stuff. And then it's also, I'm an old man. I'm 41 years old. So that's you acquire some wisdom along the way, some knowledge. I can't imagine what we'll know when you're 70, Why would you retire? Then you're of most value, other than you're probably not interested in working that hard. So that way, that you should be able to charge the most dollar per hour ever, because now you have some real knowledge that you can dump it in 45 minutes. You don't need it all 8 hours of time. So you can make, more money in 45 minutes than you made in a week's time when you're that old, because you have a lot of information. You have to figure out how to let people know what you know.
There you go. Our buddy Brian calls that time on planet experience. And Chandler, I don't know if you're inside the Hex, but in a lot of Matt's videos where he's going through questions from people in the Facebook group, he even says right there, I'm talking this out, and you can see the wheels turning, and he's like, it's almost more for him at that point. He's like, oh yeah, this is.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot. I don't have a lot of, because I spend so much time on camera. I don't have a lot of. I hate it when you say don't have time. I have time to do whatever the heck I want to just make it happen. But I don't have a lot of energy, let's say, a lot of extra to let me just sit down and script out how I'm going to have this, this podcast. I think I do better by just sitting there and going with it. And I understand that that's a really great blessing, because you see other people on camera, especially when I'm putting all you guys on camera and making you do it. It's not as easy as I think it is, because I'm really well practiced at this point doing it. But I think that I've been able to do it from day one, just because I'm just built wired that way.
All right, and one last super chat here. Improved Garage gave us $1. I guess you can't give less than $1.
He wanted to get us, yeah.
He said now we're over $100. So let's see.
I did see a question there that I wanted to address. I posted on Instagram last night. It does bother me when people get really excited about a product that isn't very good. That the Gion ceramic detailer, actually, I don't know if it was that Mike B who sent it to me, but somebody sent it to me. Thanks for sending it to me. I would have never bought it. But it's Gion ceramic detailer, and then my brother-in-law Bob sent me his Titan stuff that is probably the same darn thing as our drying aid that we already have, but it's probably a B&B thing or something similar. And so I tried them out, and that Gion ceramic detailer is not very good. And everybody's raving about it. And I'm like, so why do I? It's like I wanted to like it. First, I'm telling you this. I talked about this in the Wash and Talk. If we needed to punt the drying aid, we only buy like 2 totes at a time. Just like we have some bead maker to sell off. It's like we'll sell it. It's like not a big deal. Some people will buy it, or will have discounted, have a sale on it, get rid of it. But I will move on from the OG drying aid. I don't even want it to be the product. But there's no freaking contest. It's not even close. That ceramic detailer there's very little slickness to it. And that's the whole point of a drying aid, I think. And so then a couple of people were messaging me and said, well, you need to use a little less. Well, what's the point? This is supposed to add lubrication. That's the main purpose of this. The innocent byproduct is that I get a little bit of extra sheen or shine or gloss, whatever you want to call it. But the main purpose is for lubrication. And so the combination of bead maker was so baffling to me to leave ECH2O as my drying aid, was that it just looks a lot better. So I'd rather use ECH2O than the Gion ceramic detailer. If you use too much, it gets real smeary, and it's much grabbier than the, especially after it's dry. It's just, I'm telling you guys, it's then it would be way easier for me. I'd probably make more money if ceramic detailer from Gion was the way to go. I'd call up Jeff. Jeff would be delighted. I said, let's go. Send me 3,000 bottles of it. I need 3,000 gallons of it. Let's roll. Let's do it. But it's not better. So I'm sorry, but it's not.
All right, 3:47. It's been a good afternoon.
I need some water after all that, those ribs. Got to go finish washing the GT3 RS. And then all my cars are clean. Got to do a little bit more. Got to vacuum a little bit, a couple of cars. And maybe I'll see some of you up at the Harbor Hills Country Club. Be nice. We don't even know who the board is. I've never even seen this lady or these people. I have no idea who they are.
I feel like we're being watched right now.
No, they're too lazy to do anything like that. They don't know anything. I'd be watching this podcast. They don't know how to do that. They don't know anything. That's why they declined the garage doors. They don't know anything about class, about quality, about anything. They want to make sure that everything's contractor grade and garbage.
All right, so thank you all for tuning in. Scott Taylor OG hoodies will be in the store soon. It's a good reminder. Yeah, the Mosmatic stuff is on sale.
Yep, buy those.
I never do sales. Sale is on right now. The OG reservation list, that's a good start.
Yeah, we're calling it something like reserve your spot or lock down your spot, or we have a meeting next week to sort of lock down what we're going to do and when we're going to turn this on. I want to turn it on yesterday, but I'm asking the entire company to do it completely the opposite of the way we've done it. And I understand that, but this is our moment. This is our shot. So, yeah, let's do it. Hopefully you guys subscribe to it. I haven't been wrong yet, but that wrong is coming, and I hope this isn't it. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys soon.
See you next week.